right, welcome to Tailgate Talk. Gang's all back together. Ritter, Wags, Tasker. Again, you can follow us on socials, apps on the Tailgate. And thanks as always to our big show sponsor, Buck Rub Outfitters, and everything they do throughout the year for us during the hunting season. Before the hunting season, I know their Winter League sign-up is going really well. They've got a big holiday sale. If you're just hearing this before Christmas, last chance to get in there and get something for you. Tons of savings on all of their accessories and last year's bows and whatnot. So check out buckrubarchery.com. But it's nice to have everyone back together in the same room. It's been quite some time.
It has. It's really nice. I almost forgot how to get here.
Well, the key code still works, so you still got in the door, so you're still here.
Yeah.
Because if I would have waited for the other guy, if I would have waited for Big Red Tim Scott, I'd still be out there.
Oh, so I'm trying to think where we're going with things. I know one thing I was going to talk about we're going to do on the show this week is just something kind of fun. It's been a while since we've been together and done some kind of like game argument situation. So we're going to rank all of Wisconsin's wild game, wild food. So I got 10 of them. We're going to do our top 10. So 1 through 10. We each obviously will have different rankings of things, but we can go through and, have our arguments and make our cases for these different things. We'll try and rank those out. That'll be some kind of fun we do this week. But open table. Anyone want to bring anything to the table? Something to talk about? Something to go with?
I don't know. I wasn't sure what we were going to end up talking about this week. I mean, it's nice to obviously have the three of us back together. And
I'm just trying to avoid the fact that I don't have a deer yet. So anything that takes us from mentioning
besides
that anymore, I'm okay with.
I do know it's late, and I do know that you touched on it before when I wasn't around. But hopefully everybody got their applications in for turkey, spring turkey on December 10th, deadline, and bear, whether it be a preference point or looking for a kill tag.
You plug a mic in. What's going on here? This is... Try that. We had...
Zero volume.
Well, it was there, but it's picking up through our mic, so we apologize for this for the start of things. Paul Wagner is here. He's not hidden off and hiding under a countertop.
He's recording from the floor.
Oh, that was I swear we're professionals. This is exactly the best way to start things off. So, as you were saying, Paul Wagner.
Okay, preference points,
yes,
turkey
I
tags.
hope everybody met their December 10th deadline and they got in their turkey tags and getting their preference points for bear, whether it be a kill tag or a preference point. So hopefully that was all accomplished, before the early December number. And the date always seems to catch up on us sooner than later, and we forget to do it. So
that was me last week. Immediately, we were talking on the show. I immediately went and jumped on. I'm like, get the points in, get it done to make sure I was in there.
Just get it done. It takes like 2 minutes to do that.
Yeah.
Which is this spring is going to be an interesting one because my wife, she has a bow and shoots and likes shooting and stuff like that. She had brought up to me about a month and a half ago, I might be interested in turkey hunting. Can I turkey hunt with you?
Oh.
So I'm going to take the wife out turkey hunting this spring. So that's where I was like, I'm like, okay, I definitely want to make sure like I get in. I'm hoping I get hopefully week 2, but week 1 and week 2 were the first 2 that I went for. So I want to try and get the best possible situation and best possible odds to try and show her a turkey hunt, which would be kind of fun.
Yeah. Yes. Now, will she use the bow or will you take a gun?
So she just wants to come with me and watch and kind of feel it out. So I'll shoot my bow. I think she'd rather do it with a bow too. I think because she's fallen in love with shooting a bow, and she's not as much of like we've always talked about like hunting. She's like hunting's your thing, hunting's not my thing. Like she's a nurse. She is a surgical like she always says I put things together. I'm not used to like taking them apart. Like I'm used to keeping things alive versus unaliving. So it's never been her thing. But we've had the theory, and I think I brought it up on the show. We've talked about like certain people are okay with certain things. I feel like if it has eyelashes, those are the things that people are like, oh, how could you kill that? Mm-hmm. Think about it. Birds, fish, nobody cares. But deer, cows, horses, goats, whatever, they have eyelashes. That's where people have the issue. Like, oh, it's too cute, it's got eyelashes. And she brought that up. We had the conversation, and I was like, oh, really? Like, why turkey? She goes, I think your theory is right. It doesn't have eyelashes.
It's funny because I was talking to Shanna, our program director for FM 106, and she is pretty strictly vegetarian. And she's vegan,
actually.
She's vegan.
She's like, definitely. She's like very, very leans vegan most of the time.
Yeah. And I don't know how we got on the topic of turkey, but she was like, yeah, I mean, I just do not like those things, but I would probably eat wild turkey.
She does not like birds, period. Like the sandhill cranes that land around here,
they're awful. They're everywhere.
See, I love birds. I absolutely love birds. I don't.
Ribeye in the sky.
Right.
I've only heard.
Yeah. Well, we're not fortunate enough to have a season for them around here, so they're just a continued nuisance.
A couple umpires in our American Association League that I got to know this summer. We're down in Texas, and they just sent me pictures of these. And again, we've always known that sandhill cranes are bigger, but he's probably about 6. I'm going to say he's about 6'2", 6'3", pretty much similar height as me, and he's hanging on to one. And this crane goes all the way down. I didn't really realize.
They're huge.
I didn't realize that.
Huge.
I was thinking, what are you going to do? Oh, ribeye in the sky, he says. And I'm like, oh, okay, what are you going to kill about 50 of them for an appetizer?
Right.
No. You should see these breasts on these things.
Pterodactyls, as we used to call them. We'd be laying in the field hunting geese. Oh, there comes another round of pterodactyls over top.
Yeah, well, you figure, I mean, what are they, 3.5 feet, 3 to 3.5 feet tall, just walking on the ground? They're big birds.
Yeah, real big birds. Huge wingspans.
You hear them flying over the...
Yep.
Oh, they're terrible. Yeah.
That's my best chance at a crane call. But
that's good.
Turkey. Did you put in for turkey this year?
I did put in for turkey. Yeah, I've never done it before, but here we are. We're gonna do it next year.
I love it.
So,
are you gonna do shotgun or bow? I've shot with shotgun, but never with a bow. That's why I'm at bow.
I don't know. I think I would do bow.
Okay.
I mean, why not? I don't know.
I love it.
I just would be happy to just do it.
Right for the top Eric Tasker. It's like, I'm going to go for that.
Well, I mean, as I learned this gun season, I'm a better shot with my bow than I am with my gun.
Okay, on that theory, Tasker, do you think it's because you spend almost all year shooting your bow?
Yes.
But you don't consistently shoot your gun all the time?
I never shoot my gun.
And I think that says everything right there.
Right. Yeah.
It's what you do, and you have to practice, and you have to put in the reps, as we always say with our bow. I think, rifle, shotgun, it's all the same thing. I mean, I think back to my waterfall days when I hardcore I was shooting year round. I would shoot my shotgun year round. There was never a stop. It was shooting Clays leagues. It was just going out and shooting 5 stands. It was always staying sharp with things.
Yeah, I think it's just I don't know. Laziness isn't, I guess, the right word. It's I pick up my gun and I see there's a scope on it, and I think that I should be able to hit whatever I shoot at. And then when you pick it up and there's an hour left of daylight on Friday before the gun opener, and you're shooting 20 inches to the right of your target, you just don't have enough time to sight it.
Do you feel that's the same thing that cross-gun hunters do?
Oh my God!
That was a joke. That was just to fire it up and get it going. By the way, the hate, and we touched on this last week a bit. Some of the haters and craziness that's been going on via our socials, both myself and Tasker at the Real Ritter, me at Wisco Bow Hunting for Eric Tasker, especially on TikTok. I am still every day getting notifications and getting just the hateful comments. And that was the greatest TikTok I ever did because of exactly that. I knew it was going to get attention.
Sometimes you just got to be a heel. I
didn't think this much attention. Well, that's just it. Yeah, I'm exactly being the heel. I ruffled so many feathers. But the thing is, the people that comment are more likely to comment the negative. There's way more likes on the post than there is comments. Yeah. So basically, I was telling I made the. So you have a crossbow. You shot your buck with a crossbow. Yeah. A lot of times, people that are hardcore, just compound bow hunters, they look down on crossbow hunters and crossbows in general. And so I had a situation happen one morning, and the light bulb clicked. I'm like, this is one of those scenarios of why people that are hardcore bow hunters with a compound bow look negatively at crossbow hunters. And I thought, okay, so I have to set this up in the story. So I start the entire video with exactly that. Why do crossbow hunters, or why do compound hunters have such an elitist attitude against crossbow hunters? But first, a story. And then I quick tell the story. And it ends with, all the stuff that happened with, it was just a disaster. A guy walking in underneath me, claims he didn't see me, and I'm waving my phone, the flashlight on my phone at him from up in the tree. There's no way he didn't see me. Or if he did, he should not be hunting, period. Anyway, he sets up 67 yards from me, and this guy walked in at shooting light time. And I get this sounds like, oh, you're complaining. I get it's public land, all that. But anyone would be a little are you serious? Like,
Right.
come on, really?
Yeah.
And it wasn't even that he walked in and all, like, I find that, but the fact, like, then he set up 67 yards for me. Like, you knew I was there, and you went that, like, go on the other side of the hill, something like, if I walk in on someone, I'm going to back out and go somewhere else, or if I have to pass that person, I'm going to acknowledge, be like, sorry, you know,
Keep
kind of
walking.
wave and keep on and going way beyond where, like, we can't see each other.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I tell this whole story and end with, and what was he carrying for his weapon?
Crossbow.
But I also used the word cross gun because I knew that was going to be even more
He must have
controversial.
said cross gun 15 times.
Well, when
in
you
the
just said it
video.
right now, I'm like, wait, what am I missing? Is he air gun? Or is some guy
No.
shooting squirrels?
Yeah.
And my argument has been, well, point and shoot, right? Like aim, point, and shoot sounds like a gun to me, right?
Yeah.
I have no problem with crossbows. I think they're a great tool. People like you, Eggs, you know, with all the surgeries and stuff. It's way better, way easier for you to be able to use that. After your dad, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I get it. So, like, if anyone's seen it, it's like, well, this doesn't fit up. You didn't seem like
This
you
guy's
were...
a jack.
Yeah, right. It was said that way. But the whole point is I was making the observation, and I end with, you know, after I said we carrying a crossbow, I said, this is right here why they have the elitist attitude. I said, when someone comes in and does this, I said 10 times out of 10, I get I was, like, going a little over top. But most often, it's someone with a crossbow that happens with. And that was the only point I was making was that's why some people, I'm not saying I have that attitude. I just said, like, but oh my gosh, it's like 500,000 views and all kinds of stuff. Like, it's not the first time I've had TikToks blow up and go millions of views. I mean, I think we had 9.1 million on something at one point in time. But it's been bonkers that was how many weeks ago? And it's still like every day.
Yeah.
Getting
That's awesome.
hundreds of.
That's how it is with that one that I posted about banning deer drives.
And that's what I was going to bring up.
Just
How's the banning deer drives hate
Pissed
coming?
everyone off. Well, everybody just thinks you're an idiot because you have an opinion about it. But, you know, my whole thing, and I wish I would have done that video a little bit different and just maybe shared more of why I have an issue with it as opposed to just talking about.
It wouldn't matter, though. It wouldn't matter because they would hear the exact words,
Yep.
ban deer drives, they're bad.
Yep.
Just like
Yep.
me
Right.
saying that apparently telling the story is what people catch. Not me saying, I figured it out. Like, I said, you watch the first 7 seconds and the last 15 seconds. That's the whole video.
Right.
It was like a minute and a half. The middle part was no point. I'm just telling a story, but it just
Right.
kind of set to the punchline.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. And I was just going to say, you know, the whole thing is it's a respect thing on public land where I don't understand, you know, and maybe this is just me, like, I don't ever want to walk into an area where I think somebody else is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was one day where we had gotten out to the woods late. I think it was the Monday of gun season. And there was a guy that happened to be parked closer to us than we had ever seen before. They're usually a couple hundred yards away. So I actually walked down to the guy's truck. He was maybe 150 yards away. There was snow on the ground, fortunately. So I did not see footprints going in towards our side where we hunt.
Oh, that's
so I'm like,
smart.
okay.
Wow.
So I at least know that this guy's not on our side. He just parked on our side, facing on our side of the road, but he walked to the other side. Okay, great. But my whole issue was I've had a number of times where it's like guys just walk in where we park and walk right underneath us, and they have no idea where we are until they're 50 yards away. So what happens if they kick up a deer and then they're sending bullets our way?
Right.
It's just that's what bothers me about it. And it's like people just are pissed because I said they should get away from deer drives because they're not safe.
Well, you said it here on this show. I mean, we talked about it. The whole issue was safety.
Yeah.
It's a safety issue.
But we've done it. Excuse me. We've done it forever.
I know.
And again, this year it was done millions of times, and
Right.
nobody dead, or nobody injured, nobody hurt. I like controversy in hunting. I like the crossbow. I love my compound bow.
Yeah.
But sometimes when it gets too cold, I can't. It's just my shoulder just
too
doesn't
much,
work.
yeah.
I mean, if you can't pull back 50 pounds, I mean, I'm not gonna like. The big baseball player. I'm not a
Right.
launch angle guy, so
Yeah.
so I'm not looking for a launch angle like Aaron
Right.
Judge, and I can get 360 million. So I'll use a crossbow. But you know, there's that topic. There's deer drives. There's gun. There's the length of a season.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that irks me, and I wish one of you would put it up on your thing too, is when I come back and I'm talking to these guys, and we're setting up our Kansas trip, not the Galena trip, but we're setting up a Kansas trip, and they were just out west. And how, again, maybe I'm wrong and someone might be mad. How hard is it to jump on a rifle, your little short mag, your wind short mag, and shoot an animal 580 yards away.
This is why
I'm like, and he's all, yeah, look at this. I go, well,
this is why I'm a bow
he
hunter.
really snuck up on him.
Yeah, this is why I'm a bow hunter. I'm sorry.
Within 1,000 yards.
500? Yeah, he was at 5. He was at like, I don't know what he said, 568. I'm like, oh.
Like,
good thing you worked the wind. You camoed up.
It takes skill. I mean, there is skill of knowing the wind. Like, there is that on your end. But I have personally, and I agree with you, Wags, big time. This is why I like bow hunting. I like it to be more close contact. Yeah. I like to get, it's the fair chase thing. To me, it doesn't feel like fair chase when you have no clue I'm anywhere around. You're 200 yards from me, you're clueless to that I'm there, and I just get to gun you down.
Right. That'd be like me watching me at another park, and all of a sudden, boom, what happened? Oh, some guy, you could pile drive someone. It's like, man, that's not hunting. That's like snipering. I mean, that's
just it.
You're a sniper. You ain't a hunter. You're a sniper. But then again, I understand it. People like it, and there is some skill to it. Obviously, you have to do there's a lot of factors involved. But I look at it that way. Then I look at the crossbow in a compound. For years, I've tried to use a compound bow forever, but I just couldn't do it. And now all of a sudden I can. And then Kaz comes up, and I really like that because you go to certain areas where the weapon. Let's just say the terrain, like we talked about, the topography dictates possibly the weapon of choice.
Right.
And you can take whatever. Illinois doesn't have the dual. You got to pay for archery tag, or you have to do the upgrade for the crossbow or anything like that. It's just a archery tag, and you put your situation where you are, and that's just how I play.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to circle back on this. We're going to get to ranking some Wisconsin wild game as we continue more tailgate talk. Hey, it's Ritter, and if you follow my socials or listen to our show a lot, I'm sure you've heard me talk about how relaxing and fun archery is. In fact, my wife has joined me and got a bow of her own at the same place I did, Buck Rub Archery. They are your locally owned and operated one-stop shop for all things archery. With the area's largest inventory, they won't be undersold on any bow or crossbow. It's open to the public and the ideal place to find and test a bow before you buy. Plus, they also rent equipment, offer archery lessons, and have space for hosting birthday parties, scouts, or other events. And if you got an old bow that needs to be fixed, they can take care of you as well. Seriously, check them out off I-94 on Silverdale Road or buckrubarchery.com. Welcome back to Tailgate Talk. Getting controversial apparently already this week. We got some weird mic situations to start the show, and then we just decided to throw all the controversial things out there. But quick as we jumped off mic and came back, you're talking about the whole part of long distance shooting and intimacy. That's the word I always use for it, of why I like to be up close. It's sport. It's more sporty. And I want the opportunity to screw it up. Which sounds weird, but I think there's a difference between, and there's no problem, and I have no problem with either way. It's freezer fill attitude or sport attitude. And I'm not talking like hunting sport, like trophy sport. That's like me. I don't care about a trophy, but to me, it's the actual sport. And I've talked about it, said it here. It's the chess match. That's why I love archery hunting with whitetails. You all know I've never really gotten into it. Now 2 years. I've really gotten into it, and I love it.
Yeah.
I've always been much more. I'm still fishing is still number one.
Yeah.
But then I've always been a waterfowl guy, and I never even thought about really thinking about bow hunting because it always interfered with waterfowl season. I'd rather go out and pile up the ducks and geese. That was just way more fun, and quite frankly, I think I was better at it. It was in the area where I had more opportunity for it. But really figuring out whitetails and the intimacy of that whole chess match during an archery season is really cool and a lot of fun, and that's what I like. That's what fishing, the same thing. It's a chess match, and it's that hand-to-hand combat with a fish that I love. That's why I love it so much. That's why you mentioned the long distance shooting. It just doesn't do it for me. I get that that's a way to fill a freezer. If that's your ultimate goal is to fill a freezer and acquire meat, I'm not saying anything wrong, and I never would. Your tag, your hunt, totally get it. Mm-hmm. Just for me personally, I like the intimacy of being up close and that hand-to-hand sort of thing when it comes to hunting and fishing.
Yeah. Well, I think when you started telling that story, you were just kind of saying, there's the sporting stage, there's the fill your freezer stage. I watched a video not that long ago, and it just talked about how the different stages of a hunter's aspect of hunting or their career You know, it varies so much because I think us three are even a really good representation of that too, where you're just trying to put something in the freezer, Ritter.
At this point now, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I've went through the, all of the other stuff this year. Now I'm like, oh crap! Like I've had the chances, and I've had like, just nothing but unfortunate circumstances, which makes me go, do I just suck at hunting? But
And if that happens to be a buck, if that happens to be a big buck, whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, I am now kind of at the point where, I don't know, the last 2 years, I'm like, I'm not going to shoot a spike. I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to try and let I'm going to try and let them grow.
So much last year.
Yeah. My dad, he's probably going to shoot anything that's brown that we've got tags for.
If it's brown, it's down.
It does not matter to him.
Me, if it's
because
brown,
we
it's
just
down.
want the meat, Yeah. But I think now I've kind of gotten to this middle stage, we'll say, of my hunting career where it's like, I want to shoot a nice buck. I don't need to go out and shoot any buck that I see. I'll shoot most does that I would see, but I'm kind of at that stage where it's like, I would like to shoot a nice buck. We know that there's bucks there. And then Wags, you are kind of at that like latter stage where you've got nice deer there. You can wait it out. You've got access to hunt a ton of days or really when you want to.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people talk about that. How we need to be respectful of other people's stages of where they're at in their hunting career. Who gives a bleep about where somebody else is at? I mean, if that's what Ritter's happy doing, great. If Wags wants to shoot a 12-pointer this year and he gets that opportunity, great. But we're all doing the same thing, and that's what brings us all together. We get to share these great stories about it, and we're not going to sit there and bash one another because Wags shot a 12-pointer.
Except for me.
Ritter shot a unicorn buck.
Right.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
That thing was made of steel. I have no clue. And I still keep replaying that scenario. And I feel like every week we do this show, and every week I have to relive it and replay through how in the hell did that happen.
Yeah.
Like, I can still close my eyes and see that shot. It was a great shot. And you, look online of all the pictures, and, you see, the videos, where would you shoot? And, what's a good... And it's like, everyone's like, that's
the shot. That's the shot.
How did that
man.
not... what in the... That deer just had no blood. That deer had no blood in it. It was... You're right. It's a robotic deer. It was a robotic 8-pointer.
But you are right. You know what? And it is unfair for me to say that about long distance shooting. You know what? If that's the thrill that you search for, then you should take it. Someone's going to say the same thing.
But you don't have to like it.
No, stay controversial, Wags. Stay controversial.
No, because you're right. Because, Paul, you can shoot your deer. So my max shot with a gun is I sight everything at 100 yards. And
okay.
My food plots are set up where it's not. It's about an 80. Max shot is probably about 90 yards. Mm-hmm. And then, so I can do that distance, but then the same person that's shooting the elk at 568 saying, well, why are you shooting a crossbow? You just said on an earlier show that you guys were talking at buck rub, and your max should be 50 yards for the crossbow, 30 yards for the compound bow. You can spin it however you want. So your good point is that, if it makes you happy, you got to do it. And if it goes to your restrictions or your abilities, so be it. So be it. Because hunting is not supposed to be... It's supposed to be an enjoyable act, a fun time with family and friends and camaraderie. And that's sometimes you lose focus of it, regardless of what side of that spectrum you're on.
Yeah. But everyone has opinions.
Exactly.
And nobody likes your opinion.
Stay toxic.
That's why I always try and say, as much as now we seem like we've had, opinions on both sides of the fence of a lot of things already through this, I always say that's my opinion. And I always try and preface it with, you do you. I get that. Even I mentioned, the TikTok we were talking about where I, cross gun. That was all just to ruffle feathers, and pointing the finger at I've already said, I have no problem with crossbow hunters and crossbows and all. It's a great tool. I get it. I'm all for it. Doesn't mean that I can't poke a little fun and ruffle some feathers on it from time to time.
Yeah.
That's occasionally what you do. And just, be in the heel every now and then. But I didn't mean it to be so negative, and that's just that everyone read it anyway. But it's out there. It's too late. I said it. Deal with it.
Yeah. I just have found, and I've shared this with you a couple times now, Ritter, that, sometimes in this business or sometimes on social media, you just do bits and you just try and create some content just to get some engagement. So, Wags, at my wife's Christmas party last weekend, a bunch of her coworkers are big time hunters. And of course I hadn't seen them since I shot my buck. So we were talking about it. And I've always joked with Sherry that I'm going to put the buck, it's going to be perfect right above the fireplace. Okay. She's like, you're not putting it above the fireplace. And I'm like, I'm going to put it above the fireplace.
Or we can put it above our dresser. Okay, I think the fireplace is good.
So I posted a video then saying, whole backstory at the Christmas party, but my wife said that I can put it above the fireplace if I can get 500 likes and I can get 2 verified accounts to comment on this post, just purely to like spur engagement and views and whatever. I bet like 75% of the comments on that post are, your wife's going to let you do that? Handle your business at home, or it's your house, or whatever. It's like, have we really gotten to that point where we're just so disrespectful to our significant others?
Yeah,
it's my house. I'm going to do whatever I want. What happened to respecting the other?
That I will stand here and I will die on this hill and I will yell from the top of this hill. The one thing that irritates me so much is toxic masculinity.
It's just so obnoxious, though.
It's like you've talked about, Tasker, with you and your dad. The situation of, when your dad shot his first archery buck after 40 years of archery hunting.
Yeah.
And the emotion and, like, literally being to tears. And it's emotional. And there's men out there that will say that that's feminine or that's not. Like, where the hell do we get so toxic that you're not allowed to have emotions or care about your spouse or significant other? They're supposed to be your partner. You're supposed to be there's not, like you said,
right.
We're a team. That's the whole point. If you're married to someone and it's not that, you're married to the wrong person.
Right.
And if
you're a jack.
Right, exactly.
Or they're liars. They're liars.
Right.
Because if they're still married, you know that you don't.
Who is that spouse that's going to put up with you?
Yeah. Your wife's going to kick you right in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, God, it's just so comical. And I think that's a big thing that we're all kind of learning as we're growing our social followings, is that there are some very obnoxious people that are on the internet, and they don't have a problem being obnoxious because it's just a keyboard. And
right.
It's somebody you're never going to meet. You have no idea who they are.
But some of that attitude is a legit thing. Like, I'll tell you from experience of where I grew up, and I'm sorry, I'm going to bash where I came from, but there is a certain amount of the attitude that it's like, the guys are going to hunt in the weekends and drink beers in the garage, and the women are just supposed to be there to take care of the kids and cook the meals and handle the house.
Yeah.
Like, that's still, like, that's where I grew up. That's how it is. That's not me. It's never going to be that way.
Yeah.
No, we're a team.
Right.
Like, that's the way it's supposed to be. And that's where I look back on some of the people that, like, I grew up with, or more so the area that I grew up with, and some of the attitudes. And my wife used to talk about it all the time. When she moved from the southern part of the state, she moved up there, when we got engaged. And she's like, I'm not like any of these women. Like, all they want to do is sit around and complain about their husbands, of how their husbands just, like, leave everything to them and don't want to do anything. And, and that's, I know we're totally going off topic of outdoors on the show, but, like, that's where that's toxic masculinity to me. And it's like, I wish we could just get rid of that crap.
Why can't we just
toxic masculinity, intimacy? Ritter's got the whole. The damn Websters ain't got nothing on Ritter.
Oh man, and that's just, I don't know why we can't have both. Why can't we just go out and be a dude and also care and respect our wives? I mean, come on. And a lot of people do. It's just these obnoxious few that are like that. That just whatever.
But like all things, the bad eggs sink, or the bad eggs float, the good eggs sink, right?
Yeah.
What do you always see? You don't see the ones you don't see the good eggs. You don't see the ones that sink the bad. You always see the bad, because the bad's always floating to the top.
Right.
Did I just pull out a chicken egg reference?
That's a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah, it's coming full circle.
Love it. All right, everything else we gotta move along. We got to get to what we wanted to do this week, because I thought it'd be kind of fun to continue arguing about things, because that's what we all do when we gather with friends and family. And the holidays are around the corner. Perfect time for arguing and making your case. So we're gonna rank Wisconsin's wild game. Obviously, we all have different feelings. We all put things differently. Your ranking process or criteria used to rank them could be a multitude of things. It could be as table fare. It could be as game. It could be for the fight. Whatever you choose. All right. So I'm going to read through the 10 that I picked out, and then we'll kind of start breaking them down. And, I don't know if you want to take notes and keep track.
So do you have a bracket or
not even a bracket?
Okay.
We're just individually going to give our own 1 through 10 rankings of these 10 Wisconsin popular games. All All right. So panfish, which includes crappie, bluegill, perch, anything like that. All right. Walleye, pike, bass, salmon and trout, deer, rabbit and squirrel. So rabbit and squirrel, salmon, trout, both combined. Turkey, ducks, and bear. All right. So again, panfish, walleye, pike, bass, salmon, trout, deer, rabbit, squirrel, turkey, ducks, bear. Lots of writing, lots of keeping track of things.
Yeah. I'm trying to get them all here.
Of those, I think it's easiest to start with number one. What would you argue or say is your top is number one on that list?
Me, deer.
I would say deer too. Yeah.
Are you strictly going off of like the table fare portion of things that deer is for you?
Well, I think it's versatile. I think there's a lot of different things that you can do with it, so it gives you a lot of options. And for a lot of reasons, I think deer is such a big thing for all of us in the state of Wisconsin. Not that fishing or some of these other things aren't, but I think that is my favorite thing. I mean, I can look at this list and give you like probably a top three almost, but I just think deer, for the versatility of it and it being such a big part of our
social economic part.
Yeah.
I mean, not just, and again, like much of this is Wisconsin's, this is the same thing in Michigan, Minnesota. Like we all share the same species of things.
Yeah.
So I don't think, whether you're listening to somewhere else, it doesn't, we're just using because that we're focused in Wisconsin. But yeah, I would put this in anywhere that I am. You guys have a guess as to what my number one would be?
bass.
I'm going to go. No, I'm going to say something really weird. I'm going to go panfish for you.
Tasker's got it.
Bass, for sure.
Always be number one. Always be number one. The fight, I mean, the fact that I tournament fish for them, they're just like, they're like my be-all, end-all. And, as much as we don't eat bass, I have. Bass to me is basically a freshwater redfish or a freshwater snapper. I don't eat them often, but occasionally have, like a good cold water. Smallmouth, like that 14-inch smallie out of cold water. Blackened. It's like blackened snapper. It's been a while since I've done that, but yeah, that's a tasty morsel.
I think that deer versatility is big in all realms, whether it be the food, the eating, the consumption, the camaraderie, whatever you put together. But I think it is because almost like, again, not to say the Brewer season is 162 games. The Packer season, 17 games. Mm-hmm. Deer hunting, smaller window of things that get together. And a majority of your hunters in the state of Wisconsin, I believe, and I saw this in western Pennsylvania and everywhere around too in Illinois, is gun season is so huge, and which is a limited time. So that's why I think it proceeds to the top, at least for me.
My number two is going to be walleye, like through and through, and that's just going table fare alone.
I would say walleye's way up at the top for me.
Because
I enjoy eating it. I think they're fun to catch.
Not as fun as a bass to catch.
Not as fun, but I think for consumption and everything,
But you can catch your walleye and your smallies together almost when I jig a leech or something like that off the rock and come across a ledge or something. But I got turkey as number two.
Yeah,
I got turkey as number two.
I can see that.
I went turkey 2, and then I got walleye 3.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, the walleye smallmouth thing together, I proved that big time up in Canada. We were up there at Ballard's.
Yeah.
I was strictly smallmouth fishing, but I was still catching walleyes while smallmouth fishing.
Yep.
So, and we talked about it on the show. If you missed it, it's the podcast. You can check it out. We explain the whole experience and what it's like to fish all inclusive in Canada, like we did at Ballard's, which we're going to do a trip again in 2023. Dates and all that info will be coming at some point soon. But I never touched live bait, dead bait. I didn't touch anything. Only strictly plastic artificial the entire time I was there.
Really?
I think about halfway through you were like, I'm just going to make it a thing now.
Yeah, day one, I went the entire day only running plastics. And that's when I decided, I'm like, forget it, the rest trip, I'm only going plastic, which is why Gary, when we went out with Gary actually on the second day, and he drove boats, so I didn't have to drive whatever, so we just jumped in Gary's boat with him. Him and I gathered together after we kind of grabbed breakfast, and I said, so G, what's the plan? He goes, well, I got about 27 rods on my boat for you, and we're not touching any live bait. And I said, perfect. You know how I like to fish.
Really? And now there's no rule.
No.
Leeches, minnows.
Most of it is
crawlers,
little shiners.
Everything up there is going to be, it has to be, with the what is it?
I didn't realize.
The parasites and stuff. All their stuff that's trapped is trapped. It's trapped. It's killed. It's frozen. So it's all frozen dead bait that you'd use up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leeches?
If you want to bring yours across, but there's the whole legalities of a lot of
Okay,
stuff.
so they don't fish leeches.
No,
it's just all
everything's just straight
shiners.
Wow.
Yeah.
dead bait. It gets too complicated. There's too many taxes and rules and all. It's just you're dealing with crossing border with things.
Yeah. No,
there's all that situation that goes on. So anyway,
Gotcha.
went off topic.
Gotcha.
Check out that episode talking about Ballard's Black Island fishing in Canada if you haven't, and hopefully you plan to join us coming up this year. So we're headed off there. So we got 1, 2 eggs, got a 3. My 3 is that's where I'm going to put panfish. There's nothing to me quite like filling up on panfish. Again, table fare. I love catching panfish either early spring, like I did last year when I went out bass fishing super early, and I fell into that giant pot of crappies and just, caught a decent amount of really sweet crappies, and it's done. But now coming up in ice fishing season, that's where I am. We mentioned deer. I'm to the point now where I think I've got about 2 more sits left in me, and if I don't get it done, the internet's doing too much damage to me and seeing too much on the ice that I am just itching, which I know our buddy Rez, we talk about a lot, the Clam Pro, he's like, oh yeah, join to my side. I'm ready to get on the ice now. I didn't ice fish all last year because I spent too much time focusing on trying to, make a move on that big buck, and then it was the trip to Mexico, and then I was in New Orleans. Like I didn't have time, so I never got on the ice last year. Now it's been a full year. Now I'm like, I gotta get out. I miss it too much. So that's my 3. Tasker?
My number 3, I guess, then would be bass.
Now, do you consider is smallmouth bass considered a walleye?
No, bass is largemouth,
Is
smallmouth.
perch considered a panfish?
Perch is with panfish.
Okay,
I
okay, I didn't
bluegill,
know.
crappie, perch is panfish.
Okay.
Pike and walleye could be close together, but
Yeah. Okay.
boy, that's a tough one. Where do I put my 4?
So 4, I went panfish.
I would say
/perch.
panfish.
I like the perch and the
number
crappies
4.
and stuff like that. So I put panfish
For me.
4.
I feel like I'm going like way off the trail there, and I'm gonna go ducks. Because again, I should say ducks, geese. That's just again, I love waterfowling. I love everything about it. Again, you talk about, the camaraderie of things. There is not. I mean, fishing is a lot of that, but to me, there is no more camaraderie than you get duck hunting. Yep. You get a bunch of guys in a duck blind, laying in field. That's where camaraderie is. That's what's so fun about it. They're a fun species to figure out. Again, it's a chess match all the time. I still love ducks. I still love duck hunting.
Yeah. See, and I haven't really done much for bird, so that's going to be hard for me to kind of put those in different spots. Because, now that I'm getting bear points and we've got bear up there, and with me doing turkey for a change, I'm just really curious just to go through that because I don't know what to expect. So I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
The ducks this year were great. I loved it. I love the teal.
Yeah.
I love the faster one. We heard a lot of woodies whistling, but we didn't shoot any, but a couple mallards strangled through there, but those teals flying through, coming out, dive bombing. So this summer we have a little peninsula. The pond is kind of, let's just say, kidney shaped, but the kidney shape is pulled way back. So we're going to take this little peninsula, and we're going to make both sides so you can sit and hunt both sides.
Sure.
Because they were, depending on the wind, sometimes they were coming in right here, but then all of a sudden the wind shifted and we were set up here, and then they were coming in over here, or they were coming out on this side, and we're like, man, we can't get to them. So I think we have a strategy this year for our duck blinds, and I look forward to doing it because I did really, really enjoy it this year. And I think it has a lot to do with the people you go with. Mm-hmm. It really does. I'm not the kind of guy who's just going to go, I'm not going to pond swat. I'm not just going to go up by myself and shoot a couple ducks and then wade out there and grab them by myself. Though I know a lot of people do that. I like the fact when there's people talking, people calling different times, people seeing different things. Hey, look to your right, or look this up, and my head, I'm like, holy jeez.
So the solitude of layout hunting on the Great Lakes is not for Paul Wagner.
No, I don't need those. I don't need those white. What was Lake Michigan have those?
Long-tailed ducks.
Yeah, I don't need that stuff. And then those white ones. Yeah, I don't need that. I'm too old. You guys are young. I'm too old for that.
There's something that's so exciting about. I always describe it as like an F-16 flying over your head, but I mean like inches from your face. I miss layout hunting so bad, and me and the boys, we got rid of our layout boats a couple years ago, but maybe someday later on in life that'll come back because I loved layout hunting. That was so fun.
Never done it.
Just you and getting birds that close, flying that fast. Man, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, so you're 5, Wags.
5, I went bear.
Bear.
Tasker?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll go turkey.
For eating, that aspect of things?
Yeah, I mean, I think my evolution as a hunter has brought me to this point where turkey's next on the table for me. But what I as we were kind of just talking through this, I find myself really, as much as I watch for deer, I'm also looking for turkey a lot now too. So I'm starting to really enjoy that. I don't know.
I think turkey are beautiful.
This last back half is kind of going to be a scramble for me.
You will love it. You'll love it though. You get there in the early morning, and obviously because you haven't done it yet,
all the calling, and it's just so fun. It's so fun.
Yeah. And that's how I can kind of that's how I've gotten. I can understand Ritter's love for ducks and geese and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden in the back you hear a gobble in a tree. They haven't got off the roost yet, and all of a sudden they come in, and it's dead period for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it's one of those things where I was just staring at this field, and I look here, and I look back, and there's 8 birds on the field. You're like, how the hell did that happen?
Or you're,
and they're right behind you.
And about 10 minutes later,
right. There goes that heart.
My 5 is actually pike. I love catching pike as a bycatch when bass fishing, but I love catching pike to the ice. That's pretty much the one time that I love going on. Like I keep saying, like our little excursion, we're going to get together, a little tailgate talk outing. I would love to just do like a solid pike fest because it's so fun. Especially, me, I run for like my tip ups. I do the iFish Pros, so I'm targeting pike with tip ups, but I fight them on the rod. The iFish Pro is with the rod. So the flag goes up, but you actually fight it with a rod. Ever since that product came out, that just made pike fishing through the ice even more fun and exciting. But there's something hand-to-hand that's fun about, a big fish and having to feel them out. Like, again, I grew up doing a lot of that. Being in Green Bay, there was a lot of that kind of lower bay slough fishing and things like that with some monster pike, and going to Sawyer Harbor in and around Door County. There's a lot of big pike there, too. So I think that's a part of my nostalgia that I love pike so much. But it's always ice fishing for pike. Shauna Lake, the hammer handle capital of the state. I mean, you can't go there and not catch a 20-inch pike anytime you're out there ice fishing. So I really like pike. 6 is where I'm going to put deer. And
wait a minute, let's go back to that. So wait a minute. So tip up, but what is the contraption called?
I'm gonna have to show you this when we get in the ice. So
I gotta get those because if we're gonna go on ice fishing,
it's like a circle base that covers the hole. All right. Yeah. So your rod then sits in the little arm that sinks off the side. So your line, you run through this little circle that runs down the hole. You leave your bail open. Right, and it basically works like a slip bobber with a bobber stop. So there's this little hook device that clips up, so your flag folds down and something holds the flag down.
I love it.
And this little clip goes around it, so when the fish takes it and goes off, it pulls that clip, your flag goes up, so you see your flag there, and the fish is running freely in your spool just like it would in a tip-up, so you walk up, grab your rod, and you can close the bail and set the hook, and then you're fighting it on a rod.
I love it. I love that a lot better than hand. No thanks for the hand. And in this regular little tip-up thing, I'll be 3 sheets to the wind if I just consider and watch tip-ups. You're talking about Buffalo Trace? Paul, where's that bottle? I don't know. But what do they eat? What about all that whiskey?
This is going to be such a riot.
All right, 6 deer for me. Where you guys got your 6 ranking Wisconsin?
So what do I got here? I think I'm at pike on my list here.
6?
Yes.
All right.
Yep, I'm there too. I'm there, especially now. I like the bigger fish. I like that. I also I kind of adjusted it too. I put muskie with that. I backslash.
Yeah,
I backslash muskie with it.
I totally see. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Pike is the ultimate muskie bycatch. My 7, I go salmon trout. Again, first mating and stuff, and spending so much time there. I do have an affinity and love them, but there's just certain things that I like doing more than. Yeah. I mean, I still like to get it occasionally. Do a little, walking in streams and stuff, and I haven't done that in a while, and I haven't been on Lake Michigan for a couple years. So I'll probably get out at some point this next coming summer if I can find a day. That's a nice, I can quick day trip and go do something, even though my summer is already stacking up with a lot of stuff. I was talking to Tasker about it just the other day now that our tournament schedules come out, it's going to be a lot of travel this summer for this guy.
Yeah.
So, where's your 7 then?
I'm salmon trout as well.
Well, you are.
There.
I went. You had rabbit on there, right?
Yep, rabbit.
I got rabbit at there. I got rabbit there. I like that strictly for the sport. I apologize to those who feel like it. I donate those squirrels whenever I do any hunting. There's always someone there to grab it. What is it, Hassenpfeffer stew, whatever they make.
Yeah.
I've heard it so many times. I've never had it. I've tried it, But I like it more for the sport, so it doesn't sound very nice. But I like it for the sport and hand out almost a squirrel donation.
Squirrels in a crock pot with some cream and mushroom soup. I'm just saying, makes a real good little thing served over some noodles or some rice.
Well, there's obviously a demand for it because I've seen plenty of squirrel hunters this fall.
All right, my 8 then was turkey, where I put them. Again, I love turkey. But there's just too many other things and that's what gets so hard. And we talk about this all the time, especially fall in Wisconsin. What do you pick? What do you do? Are you fishing? Are you deer hunting? What are you doing? So it's hard to put turkey down so far on the list for me because I do enjoy turkey hunting, but I put turkey at my 8.
Okay. I have bear. I have bear for
Apparently
my
my
number
Siri didn't like what was going on
8.
there.
Yeah, she was not happy with you.
8's bear?
My 8 is bear, yeah.
My 8, just looking off tasks list, a duck. I lost that one. Can I change it?
Yeah.
Can I go? Let's go 7 duck,
and rabbit,
8
squirrel,
rabbit.
8.
Yeah, squirrel. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll wrap up quick. My 9 was bear, 10 rabbit, squirrel. I've never got a chance to bear hunt yet, but I've eaten enough bear from other people, and I absolutely love just table fare alone bear, and I think the chase of it. So I will look forward to hopefully getting a chance at a bear hunt coming up here within, I think, about 2 years from away, something like 4 or 5 preference points.
Yeah.
I was at one point in time back a while ago, right on the cusp. I was like a year away from having enough preference points.
Yeah, and then you lost a couple of them.
And then I missed the thing and didn't put in, and then everything changed, and it was like, ugh. So I forfeited quite a few points back a while ago. So I've started fresh.
We're at 8 now?
8, 9 and 10. Well, you're 9 and 10. 9 and 10.
Okay, so I did ducks, and then I did rabbit squirrel for number 10 for me.
Where'd you have the salmon trout? Did you already have salmon trout?
That was 7 for me.
Okay. I'm going to go with the salmon trout. I've done it once. I don't do the Milwaukee River. I don't do that. But I have done it up in Alaska. Mm-hmm. And I don't know exactly what the time period is, but it's the time when the sun never sets. And that's when I think we talked about it once before, but I didn't understand the snagging.
Oh, up in Alaska, yeah.
If it's not caught in a lip or you snag it because they run so much. I think it went.
Gotta be in the mouth.
I went red. Yep. No, wait. Red, kings. However that pattern went, it was like a mixture of all of them starting at that time. And I snagged one, and I didn't really know the difference. I'm like, I caught one. And I still remember my brother-in-law throwing it back. I'm like, what in the hell are you doing?
Yeah. Didn't we talk about that with Nomadic?
Nomadic Outdoorsman. Yeah, we were on with Dan Matthews, Nomadic Outdoorsman, and we were on his show.
Because he had a very similar experience, and he's like, what do you mean you're throwing it back?
What are you doing? I just went
You're throwing it into the cooler? No, in the water. What? Why are you putting it in the water?
In the fryer?
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right, so salmon trout is your 9, 10 is your bass then?
Yes. And that's only because
that's surprising.
The largemouth bass.
Yeah.
Or, I'm not a topwater guy. I don't do that. I just don't. I'm a jigger. I'm a smallmouth crappie guy. Smallmouth.
So truth be, now that we've ranked him out here, this to me was kind of a social experiment that I wanted to do with us. As it went off, we were talking about different stages of things and everyone's own journey and stuff. This just shows the diversity of who we are, of what's important to us. And every single person is going to be the same, is going to be different. But that's just it. Like, if you look at my list and you did not know me at all, and you just saw this ranking, you'd be like, that guy really likes fishing. And I would look at yours, Wags, and be like, that guy really likes hunting. Tasker, that guy really likes hunting deer, but also likes to do a little fishing. Like, just based on rankings. You can, like, if you just ranked it out, you could really get a feel for who someone is.
And I think that my list would be very different if I had turkey history and bear history. Right. I think that those would be farther up at the top. But, just for the way that our worlds are, deer is my number one thing that I like to do. But all summer long, I'm going to try and fish.
And that's our timing.
And that's perfect with my list, how my list plays out.
You were just saying, like, your schedule. You didn't get to go ice fishing last year because your schedule. Being a baseball player, my summers were either golf or go back to the park.
Yeah.
You couldn't go. I can't go sit on the lake and have a beer and fish. So fishing kind of moved to the back end. Ice fishing was something there, but then all of a sudden I got stale with the tip-ups because I couldn't walk off the ice anymore. So, you do it. And it doesn't necessarily, your love for the outdoors, I think it's determined about your availability.
Mm-hmm. And I think your upbringing plays into that too.
Yes.
I spent so much of my life fishing versus hunting. And so fish are always, like just telling the stories of why I ranked things, talk about catching pike the way I did and eating walleyes and, ice fishing, like that. There's a nostalgia, and that's why I'm always attracted to those things and enjoy that more than other things. So I just thought it was something fun to do, to show it. And if you think about, yourself, your friends, your family members, maybe this is something you can take the whole list. Maybe I'll put up on socials and something to do with friends, family over the holidays. Have them rank these and just kind of see how everyone slightly differs. I think it's just kind of fun and a little sort of social experiment to see just what makes us all tick and what makes us all different. And you know what? Being different, that's awesome, and that's what's cool.
Yeah. You know what one you missed? Or I guess like a combo one you missed? Pheasant grouse. I feel like that's a big thing in the state,
going to,
right?
I wanted to keep it 10. I tried to keep it 10, and I meant to do the pike muskie slash thing too, because
Yeah. That's the only one that I would have thought of.
I agree. So if you add that in there, which won't change much my ranking. I've only ever hunted pheasants on a pheasant farm, so I can't really speak much of, the whole pheasant experience, because while that's still sporty, it's, not the same as chasing them out in the wild like people do in the Dakotas.
Do you grouse hunt?
No.
No, I just get scared by them when walking through the woods.
Yeah. Oh, man, I got jumped like 4 times this year walking out to our
And then the way they fly, there's no chance.
Every pair of soiled shorts I've ever owned has been because of a grouse.
And I've said that to people. Yes, I've said that. I go, we were just up. We were walking in the woods and this and that grouse. I said, have you ever shot a grouse? No. I go, you never will. There's not a chance. If you don't, I'm like, what? You just gotta spray lead. That's all you can do. Just spray lead.
I don't know. I keep saying I'm not a good shot with the gun, but I probably wouldn't able to.
No, they scare the crap out of you, and you can't hit them. I don't think. But anyway, that's that.
Oh, good stuff. All right, well, we got one more show coming before Christmas, before the holidays. Thanks again for joining us. If you missed anything we've talked about in the past, mentioned Canada and some other shows, they are all available on the iHeartRadio app. Check them out anytime. For Wags, Tasker, I'm Sean Ritter. This is Tailgate Talk. Check out our socials @OnTheTailgate.